Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel OJ's Apparel. In today's class, we'll be learning how to make this lovely two-piece you see right now. Yeah, we'll be learning how to make both the top and the trouser, and that explains why the video is lengthy. Okay, so if this happens to be what you would love to learn, what you would love to achieve as well, please keep on watching. Do not forget to like, share, and of course subscribe to my channel. All right, so here on the table I have my silk fabric. Here, this is a pattern silk fabric. Okay, and for this class actually I made use of 2.5 yard for this tutorial. As you can see, it was combined with a black crepe. Okay, so my lines are there already. We're going to be cutting our trouser first before we cut out for the top. On my first line there, I have my waistline, I have my hip line, and I have my new line. So what I'm going to do right now is impute my crouch line, which is 11.5. Okay, so you just go ahead and mark your crouch line. Mine is 11.5. You can decide to add an inch to that if you want more ease down there, if you do not want it too fitted, because this is going to be like a palazzo but not a big palazzo. Okay, yeah, so there I have my crouch line. All right, and what we're going to be doing next now is we're going to start imputing our measurements. So we'll take our tape from the beginning of the first line right there, which is our waistline. We're going to impute our hip measurement divided by 4. Mine is 40 divided by 4. I have 10 plus 1 inch for seam allowance. For the seam allowance, it really depends on you on how many inches you want to add. I think I ended up adding 1.5 to mine because I had the fabric. So on my crouch and on my hip line, I'm imputing the same measurement. That is my round hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch. So I've gone ahead to connect that line like so, and next we're going to add our crouch extension. So mine is 2.5. I am imputing that. If you don't know how to take your crouch measurement, how you do that is you divide what you have on your hip line, that is the hip measurement divided what you have there. Remember, my hip was 40 divided by 4 is 10. Divide that 10 by 4 and you will get your crouch extension. So mine was 2.5. I've gone ahead to mark that out and I connected it to my hip line like so, just a little bit of curve, you know. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next is we'll go ahead now and divide sorry guys, what we're going to do next is we'll go ahead and confirm our crouch extension. So to know if you're on the right side, if you do not know how to even take, if you're not comfortable with using your crouch extension there, you can go ahead and take your round thigh measurement divided by 2 and impute that there and add your allowance. So I confirmed that and it still gave me the same measurement there. So what I'm going to be doing next is, because I do not want this trouser to be so big and bogus, I am taking out 1.5 inch from my round thigh measurement. On my new, I am imputing my round thigh measurement minus 1.5 inch. I think I ended up using 11.5 right there. So that measurement, I'm going to take it all the way down to the hem of my trouser. So I'm just marking 11.5 continuously all the way till I get to the length of my trouser. All right, so yeah, go ahead and do the same thing. But if you do want yours to be big and bogus, from your round thigh measurement, just cut it down straight all the way. So what I'm doing right now is I am imputing my waist measurement divided by 4, just because I do not want, like I said, I do not want this to be like a palazzo. I do not want an elastic waist. I want it fitted around my waist. So I just took my round waist measurement divided by 4 plus my allowance. Yeah, and I've gone ahead to connect that. So like I said, can decide to use 1 inch, can decide to use 1.5 inch, depending on what you want, guys. So if you do not want this to confuse you, you can add your allowance while taking your measurement, or you can add your allowance after you have made your markings. So this is after I've made my markings. I'm adding my allowance just for clarity's sake. Okay, I'm just doing that. Okay, so when I got to my round tie, instead of adding 1.5 inch, just because I do not want it bogus, I am adding just 1 inch. So I'm doing that all the way to the end of my trouser. You can see I'm marking that out, and I'm just connecting like so. So take your time. Always remember to pin down. It's a silk fabric. Silk fabric always move around a lot when you're making use of it, so it's always best to pin down. That way you won't have to always adjust. Okay, so this is what I have. I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the parts that are not needed. So after cutting out that part, I'm slitting open my trouser. So you just slit it open. Okay, open up your trouser, because yeah, you need it opened. So that is that for the front. So for the back piece, we're going to take our front piece and place it on a folded fabric like so, and then we're just going to go ahead and add our 2 inches allowance. Making your back piece trouser is always very simple. You just place your front piece on it, add your 2 inches allowance all the way, and connect all the way to the end of the trouser, guys, which is exactly what I am doing. So after doing that, I am cutting out. Okay, so yeah, take your time, do the exact thing you see me doing. Cut out like so. All the parts that are not needed, cut them out. Okay, and then I'm trimming the waist for this tutorial. And the pattern which I used in making this trouser is quite different. For the back, unlike the other tutorials I have where you have to go up by 1 inch or 1.5, we decided to use something different. We decided to try something different with this one, and that is why. Okay, so that's it for the cutting of the back of our trouser. Here we have our top. So in order to make this wrap top, you have to make the back piece. You have to draft your back pattern first, and back pattern is going to help you in drafting out the front pattern. So I have my basic bodice pattern already. What I'm doing right there is I am imputing my round bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch. I made use of the same allowance I used for my trouser. So after doing that, I went ahead to connect that to my armhole like so. And then on my waist, we're going to be dividing our round waist by 4. After dividing our round waist by 4, I got 6.75. I marked that down and I added my 1.5 inch for allowance. And then I'll go ahead and connect. For this, you don't have to add anything for that because there won't be need for that. So after connecting, you just go ahead and cut out the necessary parts. Remember to pin your fabric down. Always remember to pin down. So while cutting my shoulder slope, I added 1/2 inch. That is because I'll be needing a 1/2 inch to join. I remember this is the back piece which is on fold. So while drafting this front piece, my camera wasn't recording. I'm so sorry, guys, but what I did was I took my back piece, placed it on an open fabric because I'm making use of two different fabrics. I am this this fabric right now on the table is not on fold. So I just took my back piece, placed it on my front piece, traced out my back piece, and then from my 7 inches from the neckline I came down by 7 inches, and then I made that curve. It's actually really easy, guys. Okay, so after doing that, just go ahead and cut out. Cut. Okay, so after cutting, I'm placing the second part on a plain fabric. This is because, like I said, one part of our dress is black, the other part of our wrap dress is patterned. Okay, so this was how I created that. Just place it on another fabric, so whatever combo you decide to do is all up to you. So this is what we have after cutting out, and then by the time we're done sewing, this is how it's going to look. See how beautiful that looks. Okay, so next we're going to start joining. Okay, so this is our back piece. We're opening up our back piece, and then we'll take our front piece, right side facing right side, place it on our back piece like so, and then we'll take this to our sewing machine and attach it at the shoulders. So we're going to be joining the shoulders. We're going to be joining the shoulders of our blouse, or of our wrap top rather. So yeah, just place it like so, right side facing right side. Okay, use your pins, hold it down, take it to your sewing machine and sew together. You sew the shoulders and the sides together. Remember to sew by the allowance you gave while drafting. Do not forget. But while sewing though, we're going to be leaving 1/2 inch at the armhole area. That's because we're going to use that to join our sleeve. Okay, so this is what we have. We're gonna head to sew. We've sewn our sides, we've sewn our shoulders, and that's that 1 inch I was talking about that we left at the armhole area. So this is what we have. Our blouse is already coming together. So next what we're going to be doing is we're going to finish up the neckline. So we'll take this to our sewing machine and fold in 1/4 of an inch twice and sew all the way to the end of that, please guys. Okay, always remember to be patient, take your time while sewing, just so you have a perfect result in the end. Okay, all right, so next we're going to be cutting our sleeve. So we'll take our fabric. I think this was all left of our fabric, so we have to manage this. We'll take our fabric, fold it into 2 like so, and then we'll fold it again into 4 like that. Yes, so here we have our fold into 4. We're trying to create our starting point as usual, just so we'll have an accurate sleeve. Okay, so we're coming down by 4 inch, which is our cap length. 4 inch, we always use this, and then we'll just go ahead and connect like so, like make a curve like so. If you want a detailed tutorial on how to cut out a sleeve, just drop a comment in the comment section below and a video will be released. So this is what we have. That's it for our sleeve, guys. That's all. So how to know how many inches to put on fold is just whatever your round armhole is, you make that fold plus extra 5. I think here I had extra 6 inches, I think extra 5 inches, and that's because our fabric isn't much, so we had a little to add to that, but we can still make it work. We still made it work rather. I mean, the dress still came out really beautiful, right? So we just ended up having little pleats around the armhole, and we had just enough pleats, at the round shoulders, round elbow rather, sorry. Okay, so this is what we have. So by the time we take this and make little gathers, our sleeve is still going to come out nice, so we just have to manage what we have. Okay, so this black fabric right here is what we're going to be using to complete our sleeve. This is going to serve as our cuff. It's going to serve as our cuff. So I am putting this on a fold of 4, because I need to get for both my sleeves. So what I'm doing right now is I'm determining how many inches, how long I want it. I'm marking that down. Okay, and then I'm taking my round sleeve length plus 1 inch for seam allowance. After doing that, go ahead and cut out. This is what we have. This is one of it. Okay, so place this on a second fabric, on another fabric. I ended up opening that first one, so I ended up cutting for just one. So this is what we have. We placed another fabric, folded fabric, and we're cutting out the second one. Okay, and now we're going to take this to our sewing machine. Okay, we'll take our sleeve like so. Take the upper part of our sleeve. All right, for the lower part, we're going to sew in just so we can have a really neat finish, and then we'll pleat all the way till we get to the end like so. So just do that for both sleeve, and then we'll complete it. So after sewing, I'll come back to the table and show you guys. So this is what we have after sewing. See how neat the inside looks. So let's see, this is what I was saying. We still had enough pleats. Okay, we can still work with this. So this is what we have. It still looks beautiful. Okay, so next we're going to attach our sleeve to our bodies. I'm just making a notch at the midpoint of our sleeve, and I am taking this to my bodies to place it, to make sure everything sits perfectly before taking it to my sewing machine. So I'm placing the midpoint of my sleeve. I'm joining that to the midpoint of my shoulder, and then to determine how many pleats I'll make while sewing, I'm just checking to see how many excess I had. So I'm just making little pleats because it's not much. Like I said, we didn't have enough fabric to add a lot of allowance, so it was just a little. I'm making little pleats and I'm pinning them down. I think I ended up making use of just two pleats each for both sleeves. So take this to our machine and sew, and I'll come back and show you the end result. Okay, so after attaching our sleeve, this is what we have. See how beautiful that looks, guys. It's lovely, it's lovely, it's lovely, it's nice. All right, so that is all for our top. I told you guys that it was easy. I told you guys for the end of the dress, or the hem of the top, I just went ahead and folded the hem twice, and I sewed all around. So next we'll be sewing our trouser, and we always start with sewing the crouch. So we'll take this to our machine and sew the crouch by 0.5 inch, that is half of an inch. We'll sew for both the front crouch and the back crouch, and this is what we had after sewing. Okay, it's looking all fine already. Okay, so next we're placing the front piece on the back piece. I've gone ahead to attach my pockets. If you want a video on how to attach pockets to your trouser or your skirt, you can drop a message in the comment section. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to pull our front piece to match with our back piece. The back piece is meant to be bigger. It is normal. Do not think you made a mistake, okay? It's meant to be that way. It's that way because it's supposed to accommodate your butt. All right, so I'm just going to sew all the way down by 1/2 inch. So pin, like I always get to say, pin before sewing. Always pin before sewing. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew the sides. Next we're going to join our crotch together. So we'll place that. Make sure while sewing this, while placing this, the midpoints are on each other, like they are facing each other. They are meant to face each other. Always take note of that. Always make sure they're facing each other, else you will not feel comfortable down there. Okay, so yeah, this is what I have. And while sewing, I like to open my seams down there just so everything lays flat. So I'm pinning that down, and I'll take this to my machine and sew by 1/2 inch all the way down. And by the time I'm done sewing, I'll hem the end of my trouser for the both sides. And then for the waist, I just cut out a long strip of fabric that carries my round waist measurement plus extra 3 inches. Okay, I've gone ahead to iron and insert the interfacing on it, and I'll go ahead to attach this to my trouser like so. You can see how neat that is on the wrong side and on the right side. So this is what we have. Our trouser is ready. Go ahead and fix your zip and you're good to go. You are good to go. See, everything is looking all neat. Really lovely, right? And that's it, guys. We're done. It's simple, it's easy, everybody can do this. All right, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've watched this far, please do not forget to like, share, and of course subscribe to my channel. And you can also go ahead to put on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, and see you in our next class. Bye.